Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I am Donovin Darius, former 10-year NFL player, professional life strategist, motivational speaker, as well as coach and author. I want to welcome you to this episode. We're now here, episode number 15. That is right, 15. It is going fast. We're in this next level motivation book reading. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Where's everybody coming in from? Where's everybody chiming in from? So as you come in, just chime in. Where are you coming from? Where are you watching this from? I know we have a lot in Jacksonville that are here in Jacksonville as well. Where else are you watching this at as well? And then also, let me ask you this. How many of these have you seen so far? We're on number 15 today. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Kristen. How many of these have you been a part of so far? This is number 15. And so I just want to welcome everybody today. Today is going to be an awesome day. I'm really looking forward to today's session as we are now in chapter 3. Today, I want to thank you guys again for this journey. Hopefully you've been getting something out. Let me ask you this another question. So number one question, where are you watching this from? That's number one. Second question is how many of these have you watched so far? How many have you been a part of so far? Whether you watched them live or you watch them at another time. Go ahead and chime in. Let me know from there. And then third thing, if you can, what is something that you got? What is something that you received from this so far? Okay, give me something that you received from this so far. How these sessions have helped you. How this book reading has helped you. Go ahead and type that in there as well. And so I want to kind of go ahead and get into it, okay? Each session here is between about 20 to 30 minutes. If this is your first time, I want to encourage you guys as we're watching this to definitely go ahead and post your comments, all right? Like these, and then go ahead and share this as well. Share these on your page. I want to make sure that everybody, has an opportunity to see it. I want to make sure we're sharing it on the other pages as well. So thank you guys for being a part of this. And I'm excited today. Yesterday we talked about, we were in chapter 3, and we started chapter 3 yesterday, and that's where we're going to pick up today. So again, a quick little recap. First chapter was the introduction. We talked about motivation. What is it? What is it not? And how this can be your motivational manual. This can be a manual that helps you walk along your life, to give you a perspective, to help keep putting you back, okay, like a checkup. Right where you need to be to keep going. How many of you guys know in life, it's not linear, right? So it's not about just going forward. Sometimes there's ups, there's downs, there's ins and outs, there's curves. And during that time, you have to make sure you got to check and test. You think about a NASCAR driver. They're driving at utmost, over 200 and something miles per hour. But the whole time they're driving, they got somebody in their ear. They got somebody in their ear giving them the heads up of what's going on in front of them. They got somebody in their ear telling them what's going on behind them. And they're basically in the car doing it themselves. So you think about it, if a NASCAR driver who is driving a car that is basically 100 and something, 180 something miles per hour, if they need somebody to walk with them a little bit, to guide them as they're operating their life, their car, so do we. And so again, I'm a big proponent of having coaches. I'm a big proponent of having individuals that can walk alongside of you. I wasn't able to play 10 years in the NFL, 5 years in college, and then of course high school and all that without coaches. They were the most important and influential people in my life. And that's what I am here as a coach for you as you're journeying through your life here. And so here we go as we pick it up. And in chapter 1, we talked about knowing your value. We talked about self-discovery. We talked about the power of self-discovery. We talked about what happened, the results of it, knowing your value. Chapter 2, we talked about life as a journey and how life is also, look at life as a highway with all these exits, but they're detours. They're different ways to get to your designated place, your destination. And so understanding that. And then at the end, we asked her some wonderful questions where, again, I want to thank you guys for your comments in there. So as we pick it up here, and we're chapter 3, we're talking about in chapter 3, you're designed for success. This chapter is all about you understanding how wonderfully you're designed and how the fact that you have so many faculties within you, you're created very specifically and tailor-made. But majority of the people are not operating in their full potential. That means, number one, first of all, they don't have the knowledge of how they're made. So therefore, they can't utilize it. See, think about this. You can have the greatest automobile, or I'll say a phone. You can have the greatest phone in the world. But if you only know how, and that phone could have over 100 something features, but if you only know 15 of them, You still got the phone, you still can make phone calls, and you still can have fun with the 15 you know. But how many of you guys know that if you only know 15, there's 85 functionalities that you're not even maximizing? And when I look over our life, school doesn't teach you a lot of this. People don't teach you this. And so sometimes there's some things that we have to learn later in our life when we understand our life a little bit more that helps us be able to maximize ourselves at that moment. So in a phone analogy, hey, I want you to be able to operate at least 90 to 95, almost 100%. And operating at 100% will give you the results you want. Think about this. You've probably been stuck in certain areas of your life because you didn't know the other 85, or because there was a couple more functionality that you need to know. And hopefully these sessions get a chance to introduce that to you. So we talked about that. Yesterday we talked about there's different functions that we have, right? There's natural one. There's your sight, taste, touch, feel, sound. There's all that. All right, and then there's some intellectual functionality, some faculties, and that's what we're getting into today. Yesterday we talked about the will. We talked about your will, the power of you to be able to make up your mind, to will yourself to do something. You have that inside of you. Nobody can take that away from you. Today, as you make a decision today, what will you accomplish today that you didn't accomplish yesterday? Type that in. What will you accomplish today? What will you do today that you didn't accomplish yesterday? How will you be better today than you was yesterday? What area of your life will you grow in today that you didn't grow in yesterday? Because remember, in life, I want today to be better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. That means you keep getting better. You keep finding one small little thing to get yourself better. You see, in the NFL, the difference between good and great in high school could be like 2 feet, right? It could be like 2 feet difference. The difference between good and great in college could be down to a foot. But the difference between good and great in the NFL is about 6 inches. You see, the better you get, the higher you get, the more skillful you get. The difference is in the smallest thing, not the biggest thing. And so again, as we walk through, I want you to chime in. What will you get better in today? How will you grow better in today? What's up, Big Will? What's going on, boss man? So now we're going to get into, we talked about the will yesterday. I'm going to kind of read that again, and then we're going to go into perception. Understanding the power of our 6 intellectual faculties, the will. The will is the faculty allowing us to focus our attention on one thing to the exclusion of all else. The will is like a magnifying glass. It channels our attention and energy towards a particular goal or outcome. By doing so, we choose to focus on what we're creating and ignore all other disturbances throughout our environment. Emerson says, the only thing that can grow is that to which you give energy to. Properly using your will ensures that you're solely giving your energy to the things that help you grow and achieve your goals. By doing this, it safeguards you against the things which are easy but yield few results. The next thing, the perception. The perception is the number 2 intellectual faculty that we have. Okay, let's go. Perception is the ability we have to see our world. It's not what we look at, but it's how we see what we see. Let me read that again. It's not what we look at, but it's how we see what we see. This explains that even though we may be in the same situation as another person, they may see the limitations while we choose to dwell and see the possibilities. We can see the good when all looks bad. Whatever we focus on will be elevated in our experiences. I want to take a pause break and I want to talk a little bit more about that perception. As it's basically stating here, is letting you know, perception is basically the way in which you see something. It's the way you see it. And I'm not just talking about with your natural eyes, because there's sometimes that you can see something with your natural eyes, but then there's another sight, there's another understanding, there's another layer of discovery that goes beyond it. You see, if you watch the news, if you listen to the news or watch the news, if you watch what's happening around in the school system, if you watch what happens in your city, in your community, if you watch what happens in your job, you may see one thing, but how do you perceive that? Do you perceive it as negative? Do you perceive it as positive? Do you perceive it as an opportunity? Do you perceive it as a setback? Do you perceive it as a set up? What is it? How you perceive it will determine the way you live your life. How you perceive it will determine the things you do. How you perceive it will determine the results that you get. You see, nobody can make that up for you. Nobody can tell you. Now, here's what's going to happen. In this world we live in, because everything is trying to go after your attention. Everything is trying to get your attention. So you have, no matter what you do, I mean, you got live feeds on your phone, you have live feeds on your internet, on your computer. Everywhere you turn around, everything is saying, hey, we want to notify you. What are they saying really? They're not wanting to notify you. They want to distract you. They want to distract you. And so if you allow yourself to be distracted, if you open up and allow all these things to notify you, then what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to basically to turn your attention away from what you're looking at, what you're giving energy to, and you're able to turn it now to what something or somebody else wants you to. And so is the same thing with your perception. Your ability to perceive something. Okay, we live in a world where everywhere there's information always being flashed, and it's trying to get you to see it the way that they want you to see it. But my question to you, will you be independent today? Will you be a self-thinker today? Will you look at the world the way you need to see the world? Will you look at your situation the way you need to see the situation? Will you perceive your life and circumstances the way you need to help you grow, to help take your life to the next level? And see, that's the challenge today. The challenge is to not be infiltrated by somebody else's thought pattern. See, here's a good question today. Here's a question. In what way have you, let's think this, over the last month, what is one area that our society has tried to infiltrate you, okay, to get you to perceive it the way they want you to perceive it? What's an area in your life that you can identify that our culture, our society has tried to get you to see something the way they wanted you to see it, but you came away with seeing it the way you wanted to see it? What was that? What was it that you chose your perception? You chose to look at it the way you wanted to see it versus the way everybody and anybody else wants you to see it. Okay, go ahead and chime in on that. Because based off of the way that you perceive life, as I mentioned, will be based off the way that you have the results, okay? So that's perception. We're going to continue on. We're going to talk about reason now. Reason. This is the third intellectual faculty that you have. Reason gives you the ability to choose your thoughts. Viktor Frankl endured and survived torture in a Nazi death camp. In his book, he talks about this man's search for meaning. It said he survived a Nazi death camp, recounting in his book, quote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance, to choose one's own way. Thinking is the highest ability we have as humans. So decide for yourself today what your attitude will be the next time you're confronted by someone who accepts the conditions in their lives. When they try to convince you that it's just the way it is, think about it and decide for yourself, what mindset will you hold on to? What perception will you cling to? What reasoning will you reason it out to be?" You see, your reasoning skills is your ability. It is your ability to define life the way you want. It is your ability in the face of all that you hear, all that you see, to determine and put a stake in the ground and say, this is what I'm going to do. You know, here's the thing, as a parent, we often see this in our children, and sometimes we don't realize what happens. And so what happens is our children, when they're young, between the ages of, of course, 0 all the way up to about 9, about 10, for the most part, they're just taking in everything we tell them to do. And at that time, their reasoning skills is not fully developed yet. That means that they're taking in what we're telling them to do, and a lot of times they're reacting, they'll just do it and they'll respond. But after they get to around 9, 10, 11, whatever, that adolescence phase, remember, adolescence basically means to break apart, And once they get to that stage, then they start to break away and they start to reason what it is that you tell them to do. That means that they get information and then they balance it and say, well, is this what I really want for me? Is this what I want? Or will I want to choose something better? And so that reasoning skills that they have, we look at it as a negative thing because it goes against, it seems like, authority. But what they're doing is they're really responding to and acting out and developing that reasoning skill that they have on the inside. And so it's the same thing. So the next time you're dealing with your children and they're 10, 11, 12, whatever, and they start to rebel against what you're saying, just know this. Just know that all they're doing is they're reasoning it out. They're reasoning what you asked them to do and how it's benefiting them, and what they want to do and how it's benefiting them. And so understanding that it's not a bad thing, we just have to get them, it's going to benefit them as well. Okay, again, I'm going to do a whole lesson. I'm writing a book now on parenting and different things like that, so you can check that out. And so you apply that same thing to your life now today when you go to work. When you go to work and you're reasoning things out, and you have this to-do list, you have this quota, you have these things that you have to do today. Now, when you reason it out, you say, okay, well, what should I do today? Who should I listen to today? Who should I be around to today? Who should I push away today? Who should I avoid today? Who should I get closer to today? Who should I ask a question to? Who should I call today? See, all these decisions that you're going to make today is because you're reasoning out. What's the pros? What's the cons? What's the benefits? What's the consequences? You see, your reasoning skills has everything to do with you being able to take control of your life. You see, in this book, Next Level Motivation, it's all about you taking control of your life. As I said yesterday, it's not until you take 100% responsibility for the results of your life that you'll ever be able to maximize your life. I'm going to say that again. It's not until you take 100% responsibility for the results of your life that you'll be able to maximize your life. So that means you have to take responsibility for everything. Everything. Because at the end of the day, you know what a responsibility means? Responsibility is basically the ability to respond. See, when you make up your mind that I am going to develop myself in such a way, I'm going to read, I'm going to learn, I'm going to ask questions, I'm going to watch, I'm going to develop, I'm going to cultivate, I'm going to live a life as a learner in such a way that I'm going to have the ability to respond to anything that happens in my life, to everything that happens that comes against me, or anything that I face. You see, that's the person that lives on the next level. That's the person that understands the principles for living life to the fullness. And so listen, as we continue to go, you guys, this next one is a little longer, talking about your imagination. So I'm going to wait for tomorrow. I'm going to wait for tomorrow to read that one. But here's my question to you. What did you hear today so far about the perception and the reasoning skills? What is going to be different for you today, for going forward to tomorrow? How is your life going to be different today because of your ability to reason things out? What do you want to do more of today? What do you want to do less of today? How about complaining? Will you do less complaining today? And will you be more, how about being solution-oriented? Will you be more solution-oriented today? How about writing things down? Will you go through the process of dumping things out, today? Will you get things out? How about a planner today? Will you be more in line with planning things out? How about executing and a finisher today? Will you be more of a finisher today? Not just a starter. Everybody gets started. Everybody's good in the first quarter. Hey, NFL starting this weekend, right? Everybody gets out the gate. Everybody wants to win every championship. Everybody wants to win every game. But only the best are the finishers. Everybody's good in the first quarter. Everybody's good in the second quarter. Most of them start fading in the third quarter. But it's only the best, the all-pro that finish in the fourth quarter. My question to you, how are you going to finish today knowing what you know today? If you don't have any other lesson for today, except, you know what, I have the ability to perceive life the way that I want to perceive it. And I have the ability to reason out the things that I hear, to see that the things I hear, I see, and I experience. I have the ability to reason that out today. And I don't have to take somebody else's opinion to make it my reality. How is your life going to be different today? How is your life going to be different? See, in business, it's the same way. You are reasoning out what you do for the results that you want to get. Okay, in family, it's the same way. You're reasoning out the time you spend with your family and the time you stay away from your family and how it's going to play out. You're reasoning out the things you do, the things you don't do, where you go, where you don't go, and the results it's going to give you. And so my encouragement to you today is as you live from the inside out, you can have everything you want on the outside. And so listen, man, if you have not got your copy, okay, today, here I recommend, number one, that you share this message. So definitely share this message, put the share button. But secondly, you can get your copy of Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullness on Amazon. For the time of our reading, it's only $10.95. Okay, I'll send you a signed copy. Miss Regina, you guys just was in the mail yesterday, so you're getting yours yesterday. Miss Julia Nugget, yours is in Leggett, yours is in the mail yesterday as well. Your signed copy as well. And I encourage you guys all get one. Okay, get one for someone else as well. I mean, don't be stingy, man. Get some. It's only $10.95. You can afford that and much more, especially for the value that we want to deliver with on the inside of you. So listen, man, I wanted to share this before we go. So if you're part of an organization, one of the things, as I mentioned in the beginning, that not only do I do this for everyday common individuals, my friends, my family, whatever on Facebook, but I also do this in organizations. I also travel around the country and international. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so excited. In November, I'll be going to China to speak over at the Duke University, Queensheim there, to their staff and to their undergrad class. I'll be going to speak over there as well. And so I'm really excited about that. That's coming up in November, but I actually do it all throughout the country, speaking with organizations, speaking with them on sharing my story, but also sharing principles of how to take their performance to the next level, peak performance, mindset development, championship culture, team building, all these things. So sales training, leadership trainings, you name it. So I get a chance to do it. And so if you're a part of it, if your organization brings in speakers, dynamic speakers that love to create experiences, that create a lasting impression with lasting results, helping people grow from the inside out, well, do me a favor, definitely reach out to me. You can contact me, go to donovindarius.com. Okay, you can reach out to me there or send me a message, contact@donovindarius.com, and then I'll have my assistant reach out and kind of follow up from there. So again, if you're an organization and you bring in speakers or you're part of it, definitely get somebody in contact with me. I love to come in and share from there, and you'll see it on a whole nother level once we kind of come in from there. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. And so at this time right now, as we get ready to close, again, we're embarking upon that last part of our 20-something minutes. What stood out to you today? What stood out to you today? How is your life going to be different? What are you going to do more of? What are you going to do less of? Okay, because of the message you heard. The power of your reasoning skills. The power of your perception. You know, what is that? And if you have any questions as well, okay, definitely post that. I have a special one coming up for you guys, coming up around, this is the 15th one. I'm going to do one with my wife. I'm going to have my wife come on in, and she's going to do one as well. So listen, you guys get a chance to get your questions ready. If you have any questions for me in the meantime, definitely post those questions as well. Post those questions as well. I'm going to read a couple of the comments that just came on here as well. Good morning, everybody. We got several people coming in from all over the place. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget as you share these messages. Mark is in St. Augustine. Yes. Antonio, Ronald Stokes, Patricia, Nicole Simos. Good morning. Good morning. Karen Anderson, good morning to you as well. Kimberly Murray, you're a NASCAR driver, and you're in my ear encouraging. I know that's right. Susan Donovan, I like that name, Donovan there. Miss Regina Hunter, I'll hit a mile today. Go get it, Regina. Go get it. Hey, Regina, once you hit that mile, just take a couple more steps, and guess what? You got over a mile today. Wow. How about that? 2 more steps, more than a mile. Go get it. D. Nice, Edward Jones, William Small, good morning today. Christy Ramos, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Mr. Wallace Hudson, such an important message about distractions and being a self-thinker is a critical issue in our mind. It sure enough is. Remember this, nobody can get you to think anything. Now, here's what they're going to do. They're going to try. They're going to try. Okay, here, let me give you a prime example. When I used to play football, right, the team knew that each opponent that you played against, they knew that you only had so many guys on your team. And they knew that if they can disqualify, if they can rattle you, if they can get you flustered to get a penalty and get you kicked out the game, then that gave them an advantage. So do you know that we would play certain games and they would have a guy who was not a starter. They would have a guy who his whole goal, his whole objective in the game was to go in and try to get me disqualified or try to get somebody else thrown out the game. How would they do that? They would go in and he would try to cheap shot you. He'll try to hit you after the play. He'll do things that's not sportsmanlike. What is he trying to do? He's trying to get me, he's trying to trigger me and get me to respond in a way that's outside of my character. He's trying to get me to respond in a way to get me kicked out, to do what? To give him the advantage. See, because once you change the narrative, once you change it to the way that they want you to see it, once you do what they want you to do, then they got you. But what I'm encouraging you to do is be an independent thinker. Don't think the way they want you to think. Okay? Allow your perception, your reasoning skills. Say, wait a minute. What is the best thing for people? What is the best thing for me? What is the best thing? Wait a minute. Does harboring these feelings of hatred, of hurt, does that help me? No, it's really hurting you. But they're not telling you. Why do you think when you look at these prescription commercials, why do you think at the bottom they put in really small letters all the side effects and all the things that can happen? And why do you think that they show you pictures of people just having fun and on a swing and walking by the beach, while at the same time they're telling you that this medicine can cause you to die, it can cause seizures, heartaches, it can cause your head to shrink, head to get bigger, it can cause your arms to stink, your breath to be really, really, really bad. They're saying all this stuff, but they're showing you this other stuff. And so my encouragement to you today, wait a minute. What are you saying, and do I agree with it? Do I really, really agree with it? And what are you showing me, and do I agree with it? Am I receiving it? Because your reasoning skills has the ability to see it, hear it, and reject it. See it, hear it, and reject it. Or see it, hear it, and accept it. What are you going to do today with what you hear? Everything out there in the news now, Kaepernick, the government, the president, okay, on your school, in your job. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you rejecting? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And what are you accepting? Your life will be the result of what you accept. And your life will be the result based off of what you reject. It's totally up to you. I'll never tell you what to do. I'll never tell you what to think. I'll never tell you how to believe, but I will give you a perspective to have you to think. It's up to you what you do with it. And so listen, I want to thank you guys again this morning. Patricia said, doing my exercise, okay? Yes. Gloria Filio, Tawanda, Denise, Miss Rebecca, Cutter, good morning as well. Chris Cobb, Patricia, Regina, Rebecca, Custer, God continue to speak through you. Amen. Smith Lorenzo, Janet Dozier, Tisha, Kelly, Rick Wilson, Maria, Christy Ramos, sorry about that. Miss Rebecca's all the way in Frisco, Texas. I know that's right. Frisco. You know what I mean? So listen, you guys have a great day today, man. It's going to be an awesome day. Don't forget, get over to Amazon. It's really one simple click, 2 clicks if you set your Amazon up. 2 clicks, $10.95. Get your copy today. Like I said, while we're doing these readings, it's going to be $10.95. Then after that, it's going to go back up to its regular price, which was $14.95. So again, go ahead and get yours. Again, hey, every woman loves a sale. Here's your chance to get one as well. But again, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So again, if you're coming in tomorrow, okay, 8 o'clock tomorrow, we are going to be on number 16. Chime in tomorrow. If you're coming in tomorrow, type a 1. If I'm going to see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning for episode number 16, where we're going to get into and we're going to talk about the imagination. Oh, baby, it's time to dream again. It's time to daydream. Daydreaming there's nothing wrong with daydreaming. It's just when the dreams come, what are you doing with that information? Why are they coming to you? They're coming to you for a reason. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. So if you're going to chime in tomorrow, if you're going to be with us tomorrow, do me a favor, go ahead and type in a 1 right now real quick. Let us know. Go ahead and chime in that you're going to be with us tomorrow. Listen, I'm Donovin Darius. It has been my pleasure, my privilege to serve you guys today, to talk with you, walk with you, to basically be a coach as you're walking this thing out. Let me know. Comments, comment, subscribe, share. All these messages will be up on YouTube, as I mentioned, so you can go ahead and watch all 14 prior to today as well. Listen, you guys have a great day. This is going to be an amazing day. Amazing day. What are you expecting today? What are you expecting today? Well, guess what? I'm expecting something great today. Say this with me. Say this with me. I'm expecting something great today. Say it again. I'm expecting something great today. Now go forward in great expectation. Listen, it's been my pleasure, my privilege, you guys. I appreciate it. You guys have an awesome, wonderful day today. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow. All right?